What's going on, guys? Aero here, and guys, we know that by the end of the year, we're most likely going to be playing Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon, and that these are the two new games that are coming out for Pokemon this year. So today, I thought it'd be cool to share with you guys my top 5 hopes for these new games. So let's get right to it. Coming in at number 5 is Trainer Customization. Now, if you've played Pokemon X and Y, you know that a big new feature of that game was that you could customize your trainer to however you like them to look, and it was a really cool feature because you could get different hats and different clothing, and you could really make your trainer look however you wanted. And this was a really cool feature, and a lot of people enjoyed it, and a lot of people are concerned that it might not be coming into Pokemon Sun and Moon because Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire didn't have it. I think that we can definitely expect to see trainer customization return in Pokemon Sun and Moon, and that the only reason they didn't have it in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire was because it was a remake of Ruby and Sapphire, and since those original games didn't have trainer customization, that's why they took it out in Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. But yeah, it's definitely on this list because I definitely do want trainer customization to return. Alright, coming in at number 4 is the Pokemon World Tournament. So this was actually a feature that was in Pokemon Black and White 2, and I really like this feature. It was basically after you were done the post game and the main game, you could go to this place here, which would be the Pokemon World Tournament, and you could verse against a whole bunch of gym leaders and champions from different regions, and it was like a tournament that you could do, and you could try to beat a whole bunch of different gym leaders of the same type, and just a whole bunch of champions, and try to, beat your way through all the challenges and get your way to the top. And it was really fun because you could see a whole bunch of gym leaders and trainers that you don't verse a lot because they're in different regions, and you get to verse them and their teams, and it's just a really fun feature of the game, and I really want it to return in Pokemon Sun and Moon because it would be really cool to see all of the gym leaders and champions in 3D models. I think it would be a lot of fun, and I really want it to return. They could make gym leaders have mega evolutions and stuff. I think it would just be really fun. So I definitely do want Pokemon World Tournament to return in Pokemon Sun and Moon. Alright, coming in at number 3 is a challenge trainer. So if you don't know what a challenge trainer is, I basically just came up with this term, but a challenge trainer is like after you're done the post game, there's a really hard trainer or just a hidden trainer somewhere in the game that has a very strong team and you need to take it down. So examples include all of these, Red in Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver, Steven in Emerald, Cynthia in Black and White, just a really hard trainer, because if you verse these trainers, unless you spam revives and full restores, that their team was actually a challenge unless you were, very over leveled for them. But I mean, these teams were definitely a challenge, and it was really cool. And I mean, I think it would be really cool if there was a challenge trainer in Pokemon Sun and Moon. They could use the new Pokemon from the new generation, so we wouldn't be as familiar with them. So it'd be really cool. They'd have an advantage, and I think it would be really cool to have a challenge trainer in Pokemon Sun and Moon. I mean, if you versed Cynthia in the original Pokemon Black and White, you know that her team had a lot of the new Pokemon that were introduced in Unova, such as Electros and Braviary, and they were kind of hard to take down because we weren't as familiar with them because they were brand new Pokemon at the time, and that really made it hard to beat her. And so I think it would be really cool if we had a challenge trainer in Pokemon Sun and Moon, and they could use the new Pokemon from the new generation, and it could really be a fun challenge. So yeah, a challenge trainer should definitely return into Pokemon Sun and Moon. Alright, coming in at number 2 is a difficulty mode. So I know Pokemon is usually aimed towards kids, and they really want, kids to be playing the game, but I think a difficulty mode is definitely necessary for Pokemon now. There's a lot of advanced players out there who know what they're doing, and they can breeze through the story mode easily. And I think it would be really cool if Game Freak could actually put somehow a challenge into the game to make the main game actually really challenging for people. So I think they did something like this in Pokemon Black and White too, but it really didn't make sense because it was kind of after you beat the game, and I think it was like you had to do something with the Regis and stuff, and I think it was just really confusing. I mean, this would be like in the beginning of the game, you just pick, okay, I want to play in English, and then right after that it'll say, what kind of difficulty do you want, easy, normal, or hard. And I think that could really, help the advanced players have a challenge too. And there wouldn't be that much to do in the difficulty mode. I mean, basically they can just change the trainer levels, make them a little higher, so we have to train a little bit more. You can make the gym leaders higher. They can definitely add items to Pokemon. You can just give citrus berries to the gym leader's ace Pokemon. You can have trainers using X attacks and stuff like that, and I think it would really help it out. Another thing I really think that they could do with difficulty mode is with Mega Evolutions. Now, if you played Pokemon X and Y and Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, you know that you get Mega Evolutions pretty much like in the middle of the game. And I really kind of felt like I was cheating after I got a Mega Evolution, because I could kind of just Mega Evolve whenever I wanted and take out an entire team easily. Like, I mean, I'd be versing, like, a youngster or somebody, on my way, and, they'd send out their whatever, like a Diggersby or something, and I could just send out Charizard, Mega Evolve it, and then, take out his entire team. I really kind of felt like it was too easy for me to beat someone with a Mega Evolution. So I think it would be really cool if in the difficulty mode, once you get a Mega Ring, maybe the trainers that you verse, some of them could also have Mega Evolutions of their own. That would be really cool, because then it would actually, be a challenge instead of, your Pokemon just taking out their entire team. So it would be really cool. So, they could also have gym leaders having Mega Evolutions as well. Maybe like gym leaders 5 to 8 or something like that could have a Mega Evolution. And, I think that would be really cool, instead of just the Champion and Elite Four having Mega Evolutions. The more people that have Mega Evolutions, the more of a challenging game it is. So we should definitely see some sort of difficulty mode into Pokemon Sun and Moon. I think that would be really cool. Alright, now the number one thing that I really want in Pokemon Sun and Moon, really hoping for it, is another region. Yes, this is something that we really want. As of right now, Pokemon Silver and Gold and Heart Gold and Soul Silver are the only Pokemon games that have 2 regions in them, being Johto and Kanto. And I think it would be really cool if we could finally get another region in a different game. And I mean, Pokemon Silver and Gold are actually like, they're really related to Pokemon Red and Blue, because they're kind of direct sequels of each other. You can tell because everything makes sense. Giovanni leaves in Kanto, so Blue becomes the gym leader because the champion, Red, you beat him. Lance was the last Elite Four member, so he gets promoted up to being a champion because Blue leaves. It all makes a lot of sense, and they're really closely related to each other, Johto and Kanto. And I think it would be really cool if Pokemon Sun and Moon was just like this with Pokemon X and Y, and that these two games were really closely related as well. We could go visit Kalos once you're done this new region, and I think it would be really cool to have another game that we can finally visit another region in. That would really make the post game a lot of fun as well. Having 16 gym leaders, just a really cool challenge. I think it would be a lot of fun if we could have another region in a Pokemon game. That's my biggest hope. Is it gonna happen? Probably not, but I mean, I don't know. I can still hope for it. I really hope we do get another region though. But there you go, guys. Those are my top 5 hopes for Pokemon Sun and Moon, and that's basically what I really want to see in the game. Are there any hopes that you have that I didn't cover here, or you just want to let me know what are your hopes for the game? Definitely let me know in the comments down below, and I'll be sure to reply to you and see what you have to say. If you enjoyed this video, please click that like button because it really helps me out. And if you like what you're seeing on my channel, please click that subscribe button because you'd be doing me a huge favor and I'd really appreciate that. But that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching.